My name is Elena, and for 12 years I believed my marriage was built on trust, honesty, and unbreakable love. When I married Daniel, he was calm, gentle, caring, and the kind of man every woman dreams of. I never imagined the man who held my hand every night was hiding something so big, something that could change everything I believed about him. We lived a quiet life in a small town, far from noise, far from drama, far from anything unusual. Or, at least I thought so. Daniel worked as an architect and often came home tired, but he always smiled for me, always asked about my day, always pretended everything was normal. For 12 years, he hid the same routine: leave home at 7 a.m., return at 6 p.m., kiss me, eat dinner, sleep early. Nothing seemed strange until the night everything changed. It started with small signs, signs I ignored at first. He became quieter, looked lost sometimes, stared at his phone screen longer than usual. I asked, "Is everything okay?" And he always answered with a tired smile, "Just work, honey." I believed him. Why wouldn't I? But one night, after he slept early, his phone vibrated repeatedly. Normally, I would never touch his phone, but some instinct told me to look. When I opened the screen, there were only 3 words from an unknown number. "It's time, Daniel." My hands shook. My heart raced. What time? For what? I looked at Daniel sleeping peacefully beside me, unaware that his world was about to unfold. I didn't confront him that night. I waited, watched, and acted normal. The next day he left home early, earlier than usual. Something was wrong, deeply wrong, and I knew I had to follow him. I took a taxi and told the driver to stay far behind. Daniel didn't go to his office. He drove toward the old part of the town, a place we hadn't visited in years. He stopped in front of a small, abandoned building. I watched him enter quietly, locking the door behind him. My heartbeat echoed in my ears. I waited almost an hour until he came out with a woman I had never seen before. She stood close to him, talking fast, almost crying. Daniel held her shoulders, calming her, promising her something. I froze. Was he cheating? Was this the truth he hid for 12 years? My breathing became heavy. Tears burned my eyes. But then I saw something that changed everything. The woman handed him a small box, and Daniel opened it slowly. Inside was a photograph of a child, a boy. My world shattered. Daniel held the photo with trembling hands, his face filled with pain, guilt, and something deeper, fear. I couldn't hear their words, but I saw enough to understand. The child was his. My husband had a son I never knew about. For 13 years of marriage, I dreamed of becoming a mother, but fate never blessed me. And all this time, Daniel had a child hidden from me? Why? I stumbled back, trying to breathe. The taxi driver asked, "Madam, are you okay?" I wasn't. My heart had been cut open. I returned home before Daniel and pretended everything was normal, but inside I was falling apart. That night I confronted him. He walked into the living room looking tired and worried. "Daniel," I said, "we need to talk." He froze. He knew. He sat down slowly, unable to meet my eyes. "You followed me," he whispered. I nodded, unable to speak. Tears filled his eyes. I had never seen him cry in 12 years of marriage. He broke down completely. And then he told me the truth. 12 years ago, before he met me, he had been in a relationship with a woman named Clara. They were engaged, deeply in love. But Clara disappeared suddenly, leaving him devastated. He searched for her for months, but eventually gave up, believing she had left him for someone else. He moved to a new city, he met me, we fell in love, we married. But Clara never left him. She was forced to leave. Her family, strict and controlling, took her away after discovering she was pregnant. They threatened Daniel, manipulated Clara, and made her vanish. She gave birth to a boy, Noah. For 11 years, Clara raised him alone. But now she was dying, slowly, painfully, from an illness she kept hidden. And with no one else left, she reached out to Daniel. I didn't hide them from you to betray you," Daniel sobbed. "I did it because I was afraid of losing you, afraid you'd think I chose another family over you. I swear I never knew about my son until last year, and I didn't know how to tell you." My heart broke, not just for myself, but for him, for Clara, for the child, for the 12 years of pain buried inside him. I asked him, "Why didn't you tell me last year? Why hide it until now?" He whispered, "Because I wanted to protect you. You always wanted a child, and I didn't want to break your heart. And when I finally gathered courage, Clara became sick. Everything happened too fast." I cried, not in anger, but in exhaustion. Life was cruel. Love was complicated. I told him I needed time. Days passed silently. Daniel spent most of his time visiting his son, and I stayed home trying to understand my own heart. One afternoon, Daniel brought Noah home. The moment I saw him, those innocent eyes, that silent fear, that resemblance to Daniel, my heart melted. The boy whispered, "Are you mad at me?" That broke me completely. I knelt, held his hands, and said, "No, sweetheart, I'm not mad at you." Tears ran down his face as he hugged me tightly. That hug changed everything. Over the next months, I helped Daniel take care of Noah while Clara's condition worsened. She passed away peacefully one morning, holding Daniel's hand and thanking me for accepting her son. At the funeral, I realized something powerful. Life doesn't always give you the family you expect, but sometimes it gives you the family you're meant to love. Today, Noah lives with us. Daniel and I rebuilt our marriage, slowly, painfully, honestly. His truth hurt me deeply, but it also revealed the kind of man he truly was. Flawed, scared, but human. And now, when I look at our life, I don't see betrayal anymore. I see healing. I see forgiveness. I see a boy who needed a home, and I see a future I never expected, a future I'm finally ready to embrace.